Let him go.
Please, just relax.
Just when the village thought Kev Townsend had run out of ways to drag trouble to their doorstep, the ex-con explodes back into chaos with a stunt so reckless it threatens to destroy everyone in his orbit. A fake heart attack. A terrified doctor dragged into crime. A bag full of stolen cash. And a gun hidden inches from disaster. But that was only the beginning. As Liam Kavanagh struggles to breathe under Kev's threats, and Robert Sugden realizes he may have trusted the wrong man, a silent war begins between love, loyalty, and survival. Aaron Dingle wants Kev gone permanently, yet one wrong move could push Kev into violence, or worse, expose the devastating secret about Louis Barton's real father. Now, with Kev slipping deeper into madness and the villagers unknowingly circling a ticking time bomb, Robert and Aaron must make an impossible choice: turn Kev in and risk a deadly retaliation, or stay silent and watch him tear their lives apart. And when Kev whispers his chilling threat, "I could kill Aaron," the question becomes unavoidable: who will strike first? And who won't make it out alive? The sun had barely risen over Emmerdale when the consequences of last night's chaos began to ripple through the village. Robert Sugden hadn't slept a single second. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard Kev's voice, that low, poisonous murmur, the threat delivered with a sickening smile. "I could kill Aaron." Now, as Robert stood alone in the empty kitchen at the mill, hands trembling around a mug of untouched coffee, the weight of that sentence clawed at his chest. He knew Kev wasn't bluffing. Not anymore. Something inside Kev had snapped. The thrill of the robbery, the lies piling on lies, the paranoia. It had created a man who had nothing left to lose. And that made him lethal. A sudden knock at the door jolted Robert back to reality. His stomach twisted. For half a second he thought it might be Kev, armed, desperate, unpredictable. But it was Aaron. He stepped in quietly, jaw clenched, eyes scanning Robert's face before he spoke. "You look like you've seen a ghost." "I might as well have," Robert whispered. "We need to do it today, Aaron. Before he does something we can undo." Aaron nodded, though there was something unsettled in his expression, something he'd been hiding. "There's something else you need to know," he said. "Charity knows about the robbery. And she's blackmailing Liam." Robert swore under his breath. Another problem. Another secret spiraling out of control. But before they could say more, the door of the mill creaked. Both turned sharply. Kev stood in the doorway, his shirt half open. His eyes too bright. His hand buried inside his jacket where the gun was. "Morning, lads," Kev grinned, stepping inside as if he owned the place. "I've been thinking. We didn't finish our little chat." Robert's pulse hammered against his ribs. Aaron stiffened, the muscles in his arms tightening like coiled springs. Kev shut the door behind him with a soft click, the sound of a trap being sealed. "You know," Kev continued, slowly approaching, "it's really hard to find people you can trust nowadays. But you too." He smirked. "You've always been loyal friends." Aaron took a half step forward, voice level but icy. "What do you want, Kev?" Kev's mouth curved into something crooked and dangerous. "I want to make sure neither of you are planning anything stupid." His hand shifted inside his jacket. The outline of the gun became unmistakable. Robert swallowed. His voice was barely a breath. "Kev, don't." Kev tilted his head, eyes narrowing with a mix of amusement and suspicion. "Then tell me the truth. Did you two go to the police?" A beat of silence. Every second stretched thin as wire. Aaron's fists curled. Robert's heart thudded. Kev's fingers tightened around the gun. And then a loud bang split the air. Someone else had entered the mill. Someone Kev wasn't expecting. And everything, the lies, the threats, the secrets, was about to explode. The bang wasn't a gunshot. It was the front door slamming open so violently the hinges screamed. And in the doorway stood Liam Kavanagh, pale, shaking, his breath shallow, panic written across every inch of his face. Kev spun around, startled, hand flying halfway out of his jacket. "Kev, don't," Liam blurted, holding both hands up like he was trying to stop a runaway train. "Don't do anything stupid." Aaron felt the air shift. Liam's entrance had thrown Kev off balance, the only advantage they'd had in hours. Kev's eyes narrowed. "What are you doing here, Doc?" Liam swallowed hard, voice cracking. You forgot something. Your bag." He held up the empty gym bag, the one Kev had stashed the stolen loot in. A stupid lie. A transparent lie. But it didn't matter. Something inside Kev snapped at the sight of it. "You went through my stuff?" he hissed. No, I didn't, I swear." Kev lunged. Liam stumbled back, crashing into the counter. Aaron moved instantly, stepping between them, adrenaline blazing. "Kev, stop. You're scaring him." Kev let out a bitter laugh, short, sharp, almost hysterical. "He should be scared. So should you. Both of you." Robert saw the gun now fully in Kev's hand, shaking, finger brushing the trigger. This was it. The moment everything would turn. But the fear in Kev's eyes wasn't anger. It was panic. Paranoia. A man drowning in the consequences of his own actions. You all think I'm some monster. Kev barked. You think I'm going back to prison? I'm not. Not again. I'd rather die first. Liam's voice trembled. Kev, listen to yourself. This isn't you. Kev snapped toward him. Shut up. Robert stepped forward, slowly, palms raised. His voice soft, calm, steady, cut through the tension like a blade. Kev, you don't want to hurt anyone. You're scared. I get it. I know what fear does to you. I've been there. Kev's breathing hitched the gun, wavering. For the first time, doubt flickered in his eyes. Robert kept going. You want someone to trust you? Fine. I trust you. Put the gun down, and we will fix this together. For a split second. It almost worked. Kev's fingers loosened. His shoulders dropped. His lips parted as if he might finally surrender. Then. A police siren wailed outside. Kev froze. His pupils shrank. Aaron cursed under his breath. Someone called the police, Kev whispered, but the whisper carried all the rage in the world. And then the switch flipped. Kev bolted for the back door, pushing past Aaron so hard he nearly knocked him over. Robert reached out to grab him, but Kev shoved him aside, tearing through the kitchen. Kev, stop. Liam screamed. But Kev was already gone out the back, crashing into the yard, sprinting like a hunted animal across the grass. The sirens grew louder. Aaron stared after him, jaw clenched. He's going to do something stupid. Something worse. Robert's chest tightened. He's desperate. Desperate men make the worst choices. Liam's voice broke in a whisper. God. What have we done? But Robert wasn't listening anymore. He was staring out the open door, heart pounding, knowing exactly what would come next. A man with a gun, a village full of secrets, and nowhere left for Kev Townsend to run. He headed first towards the vicarage. Charles answered the knock, surprise flickering across his face. Kev, he said. I wasn't expecting. Been hearing some interesting things, Kev cut in, stepping inside without waiting to be invited. About robberies. About suspects. About certain priests having cozy chats with the police. Charles straightened. If you're here to intimidate me, it won't work. Who said anything about intimidating? Kev replied, though the way his hand hovered near his jacket told a different story. I just want to know who's been talking. The truth always comes out, Charles said simply. If you've done nothing wrong, then you have nothing to fear. Kev's smile was sharp. That's the problem, Padre. I've never had the luxury of that kind of innocence. He didn't stay long. He didn't need to. The seeds were already planted. He left Charles with a renewed sense of urgency to call the police again, to tell them their suspect was rattled. From there, Kev moved on. He saw Liam crossing the street near the surgery, shoulders hunched. Hello? You told them, Kev called out. Liam froze. I only told them about the car, he said shakily. I didn't tell them about the gun. I didn't tell them about the bag. I didn't want to. I still don't. But they would have found out anyway. So you thought you'd get in there first, yeah? Kev asked. Save your own skin. You're the one who pointed a gun at me, Liam replied, surprising himself with the anger in his voice. You're the one who robbed a shop, who dragged me into it, who threatened my life. I have a daughter. I have patience. I can't live like that. Kev stepped closer, his presence suffocating. You think the police are going to play nice with you? Accessory. Accomplice. Those words mean anything to you, doctor? I told them you forced me, Liam said. They believed me. Kev's eyes flashed. They might. But I don't. He raised his hand suddenly. Liam flinched, but it was only to tap his cheek, the gesture cruelly echoing the one he'd used on Robert. You always did look like the type who'd fold under pressure, Kev said. Disappointing. But not surprising. He walked away, leaving Liam shaking in the middle of the street. He saved Robert and Aaron for last. They were in the living room when a knock came, loud, sharp, unmistakable. That's not the police, Aaron said immediately. Robert didn't argue. He just felt the cold certainty settle in his bones. Stay here, Aaron said, moving towards the door. Like hell, Robert replied, following him. Aaron opened the door and there he was, Kev, framed in the porch light, eyes glittering, lips curved in something that wasn't quite a smile. Evening, lads, he said. Thought we could clear the air. There's nothing to clear, Aaron said. You should leave. Funny, Kev replied. I was about to say the opposite. Thought we should get everything out in the open. Before your new friends in uniform decide to drag me away. Robert's stomach twisted. Kev. Save it, Kev snapped, the mask slipping. You think I don't know? The messages. The whispers. The sudden interest in my movements. I've been around long enough to smell betrayal. We did what we had to do, Aaron said. You threatened him. You threatened me. You robbed a shop. What did you expect us to do? Clap? Kev's hand moved, pulling the gun from his jacket. Robert's breath hitched. Aaron tensed, body shifting slightly in front of Robert's. Don't be stupid, Aaron said quietly. You pull that, You'll never see another day outside a cell again. Maybe I won't anyway, Kev replied. So what difference does it make if I take one of you with me? For a moment, none of them moved. The world outside seemed to fall away, leaving only the three of them in a quarter of air and tension. Kev, Robert said, his voice cracking. Please. Don't do this. You're better than this. Kev laughed, a short, sharp bark. No, I'm not. That's the funny part. I told you what I was. You're the one who kept pretending I could be anything else. Then prove me wrong, Robert snapped, desperation edging into anger. Put the gun down. Walk away. Let the police deal with you the way they're supposed to. Take the deal. Do the time. Don't make this worse than it already is. I spent 20 years locked up, Kev said. I know exactly how bad it can get. And I know how much worse it'll be this time. Old dog, same tricks, no sympathy. You think I'm scared of another cell? I'm not. I'm scared of going back knowing the only person I thought might understand has already written me off. You were never my project, Robert said. You were a man I tried to help. And you chose this. Not me. You. Kev's gaze shifted to Aaron. And you. You've been pushing for this from the start. Whispering in his ear. Turning him against me. I've been trying to protect him, Aaron replied. From you. And from himself, when it comes to you. Kev's grip tightened on the gun. For a second, it lifted, angling slightly upwards, and Robert's heart stopped. He could see the decision forming behind Kev's eyes, the weighing of consequences, the pull of rage against the faint tether of whatever humanity remained. Then, from down the lane, came the sound of sirens. Faint at first, growing louder. All three of them heard it. Kev's head snapped towards the road. You called them here? Not now, Aaron said. We told them what you did. They were going to come eventually, whether we were here or not. The sirens came closer, lights beginning to flicker against distant windows. Kev's options narrowed like the walls of a cell. He let out a long, shuddering breath. You know the worst part? He said quietly. I really did think, for a moment, that maybe I could be different. With you. That's on me. Should have known better. He lowered the gun a fraction, not pointing at them now but still held loosely in his hand. Kev, Robert said again, voice soft, raw. Please. Don't make them come in heavy. Don't give them a reason to shoot. Kev looked at him, and for the first time in days, there was something almost human in his gaze, not just anger and fear, but something like grief. For what it's worth, he said, I never meant to hurt you. Either of you. Then don't, Aaron replied. Put the gun down. Now. The sirens stopped outside. Car doors slammed. Voices shouted. The front of the house was suddenly bathed in blue and red light, painting their faces in jagged colors. Kev Townsend, a voice called from outside. This is the police. We need you to step out with your hands where we can see them. Kev looked between the two men in front of him and the door behind him. He realized, with a clarity that almost hurt, that there was no path left that didn't end in loss. Guess this is it, he said softly. He took one step back. Robert reached out, impulsively. Kev. Don't, Kev warned, the gun twitching reflexively upwards. The officers outside repeated their command, the words louder, firmer, edged with the readiness of men who knew there was a weapon in play. Aaron made a decision. If you walk out with that gun in your hand, he said, they'll shoot you. You know that. If you want to spit in our faces, fine. If you want to hate us, fine. But don't give them a reason to put a bullet in you. Don't go out like that. Kev's eyes glistened, though no tears fell. You always did see straight through the bull, he said. Slowly, he opened his fingers. The gun fell to the floor with a dull, dreadful thud. Robert let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. Outside, the police called again, unaware of the shift inside. Kev Townsend, step out with your hands where we can see them. Kev looked at the gun on the floor, then at the two men standing before him. One he'd tried to claim, one he'd tried to threaten away. Tell Lewis, he began, then stopped himself. No. Don't tell him anything. He's better off without knowing. He raised his hands. And walked towards the door. The arrest itself was swift and efficient. The officers had Kev on his knees and in handcuffs within seconds of him stepping outside. They kept their guns trained even after he surrendered, not willing to take chances with a man whose file was thick with violence. Robert and Aaron watched from the doorway, hearts pounding, adrenaline shaking their hands. They saw Kev glance back once as he was led to the car, not at them, exactly, but at the house, at the life he'd brushed up against and failed to claim. Then he was gone, the car doors slamming, the engine starting, the blue lights cutting a path through the village as they took him away. Only when the taillights had vanished did Robert sag against the doorframe. It's over, he whispered. Maybe for us, Aaron said quietly. For him. It's starting all over again. They went back inside, closing the door on the flashing lights, the gathered faces, the murmurs of a village that had once again watched one of its storms blow through. Neither of them knew that somewhere else in that same village, a young man named Louis Barton had heard the sirens too and felt a strange, inexplicable chill run down his spine. He looked out of his window, watching the police cars leave, unaware that the man inside one of them was more than a stranger, more than a criminal on the news. He was blood. Later that night, in the quiet aftermath, the pieces began to settle. Liam gave a formal statement, this time with less hesitation. He told the truth about the fake heart attack, the forced car ride, the gun. He spoke carefully when it came to Louis, choosing his words in a way that neither confirmed nor denied the full truth. Nicola hovered nearby, offering support in her own prickly way. You did the right thing, she insisted. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Especially yourself. Charity, when she heard Kev had been taken in without anyone being shot, allowed herself a small, private sigh of relief. Her blackmail scheme with Liam now looked less like a trap and more like a weird detour in a week already too full of chaos. Guess you're off the hook, she told him later, when they crossed paths outside the pub. Don't say I never do anything nice. Liam gave her a look that was half grateful, half exasperated. You manipulated me into emotionally babysitting your husband. And you're good at it, she replied. Anyway, we're square. No more threats. Just try not to get roped into any more robberies, yeah? I've got enough on my plate. Charles said a prayer that night, not just for the people Kev had hurt, but for Kev himself. He didn't excuse him. He didn't pity him. But he acknowledged that even monsters were made, not born. And in a small room somewhere in the remand center, Kev stared at the blank wall, the old suffocating familiarity of confinement rushing back like a memory he'd spent years trying to outrun. He thought of Robert's face at the door. Of Aaron's voice telling him not to go out with the gun in his hand. Of Louis's name sticking in his throat. For the first time in a long time, he let himself properly consider what he had done, not just to himself, but to everyone whose lives he'd crashed through. It didn't redeem him. But it sat with him, heavier than the cuffs around his wrists. Back in the village, Robert and Aaron lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, each lost in their own version of the same thoughts. You think he'll tell them about us? Robert asked eventually. Us how? Aaron replied. The robbery? No. He's not going to give them anything that makes him look weaker. The rest? It's not a crime to care about someone messed up. It just feels like one sometimes. Robert turned his head, looking at Aaron's profile in the low light. I'm sorry. For not listening to you sooner. For letting him get that close. Aaron didn't look away from the ceiling. You've always been drawn to broken people. Probably because you see yourself in them. Robert let out a humorless laugh. And you're not broken? Oh, I am, Aaron said. Difference is, I'm trying not to drag anyone else down with me anymore. He turned then, finally facing Robert. You did the right thing in the end, he said. We both did. It doesn't erase everything that came before, but it counts for something. Robert swallowed, emotion thick in his throat. Do you think he meant it? When he said he never meant to hurt us? Aaron hesitated. I think, he said slowly, that he meant it in the only way someone like him can. He didn't wake up wanting to hurt you. He just hurt people by existing the way he does. It's what he's learned. It's what he knows. That doesn't make it okay. It just makes it sadder. They lay in silence for a while, the weight of the day pressing down on them. Do you think it's over? Robert asked. Aaron sighed. With Kev? For now. With the fallout from all this? Not even close. He thought of Liam, still shaken. Of Nicola, carrying the burden of a secret about Louis's parentage. Of Louis himself, walking around with a ghost etched into his DNA. This will come back, Aaron said quietly. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next week. But secrets like that, they never stay buried forever. Robert closed his eyes. When it does, he murmured, we'll handle it together. Aaron reached across, fingers intertwining with his. Yeah, he said. We will. Outside, the village finally fell still. The sirens were gone. The murmurs had faded. For one brief, fragile moment, Emmerdale exhaled. But somewhere beyond the horizon, the next storm was already gathering, the storm that would come when Louis Barton finally learned the truth about the man who had been dragged away in handcuffs under the blue lights, and the devastating realization that sometimes, the darkest stories weren't the ones you watched on TV, they were the ones written in your own blood.